Hey guys, it's finally Friday. We've made it to the end of the week. Friday editorial for you, going back to Dallas, Texas. So I got one for you here. But before we go there, I just wanted to clarify something because I don't know who doesn't know or what you don't know. Or I don't know. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but we're talking about No Thanks and AV Watchman. They went to court yesterday and there was a no file. And they were thinking that they just didn't file. And when No Thanks went into the police station there, they said, well, the detective took it over today. And I had made the comment that, like, look, guys, the officer has asked for a continuance in the arraignment. It's going to be filed later, maybe like December or late November. It'll be filed, and you're probably still going to have to go to an arraignment at some point. And someone told me, no, that's wrong. DA, the prosecutor, prosecutes the case, not the police. I know who prosecutes the case. I know how it works. You see, I went to college. I took criminal law and courts procedures. I know how all this works. I know all the law terms, and I know everything. I know a lot more than you guys think. Yes, police officers can ask for a continuance of the arraignment. How do they do it? And it may not be called continuance. It may be another word. It escapes me, but it is a continuance, basically. What happens is the police officer doesn't file the report, so your arraignment is moved to a future date. That's called a continuance, you see. So yes, police officers can ask for a continuance of the arraignment. The way they do it is when they do submit their report, they do it with a form, and they sign the form and say, well, I'd like to correct the arraignment date to this date instead, or the court appearance date to this date instead. And the judge usually grants it and goes, yeah, okay, because they're cops and cops can do whatever they want. And they do that. So yes, police officers can ask for a continuance of the arraignment by filing the case later. Now, it depends on the case. I mean, if it's a, high-profile murder case or something, maybe not. I don't know. But we're talking about, something here that threats, felony threats at the AV hospital. So, yes, the police officers can do that by filing their report later and putting on there a corrected arraignment date. That's what they do, and there you go. So that's not incorrect. That is correct. That's how it works. Sorry you thought that you knew so much about the law, but apparently you know more than you thought you did, or less than you thought you did. But anyway, somebody had corrected me and said, no, that's not how cops don't ask for continuances. The DA prosecutes the case. Well, the DA doesn't have the report yet. There's no arraignment because, and on this one, it's probably a citation or something to that effect. You go in, you say guilty, not guilty, or whatever. If they plead not guilty, then of course, yes, the district attorney is going to be notified that you have somebody that pled not guilty. If they go in and say we're guilty, we just want to, the judge will take care of it then. Like a DUI, the DA doesn't, the officers submit everything for the DUI or a traffic ticket. You go in, you say not guilty, and then the DA will be notified. District attorney will be notified if you're not going to be sentenced right then at that time. It's kind of how it works. That's the short version. I mean, I could spend another 45 minutes on this. But I just wanted to correct that because somebody told me, no, cops don't ask for continuances. Yeah, on the arraignment, they can by filing their report later, by not filing it, and then they file it later with a form, and then it's, of course, moved to a later date. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. And again, I always give you the short version on these sometimes because like I said, I could sit here for 45 minutes and just discuss it and tell you about this stuff. So I'm just giving you the short version. If you want to discuss it, that's what the comment section is below. But usually, or sometimes when I say something and don't say, that's incorrect, because no, that's correct. I know what I'm talking about sometimes. I really do. We're going to go to Dallas, NBC, Dallas-Fort Worth 5, bringing us this story. Thank you, Hannah Jones, for this story, which is from NBC, Dallas-Fort Worth 5. Reference 3 police officers. Now, I'm going to mention Officer Darren Harris Jr. I guess he's undercover or something because I couldn't find a picture of this guy to save my life. I found 4 other Darren Harrises, but none of them were Dallas cops. So I don't know. Maybe this guy's some type of UC or something. But 3 Dallas police officers were fired after hearings and internal affairs investigations. Officer Darren Harris Jr., Sean Brown, and Jerry Thames were terminated. Now, Officer Harris was hired in August 2014 and assigned to the South Central Division of Dallas. He was fired for violating the Communication Services Standard Operating Procedures and Code of Conduct when handling calls as a 911 call taker. He also caused false and or inaccurate information to be entered into departmental records. Really? In a separate investigation, it was determined that Harris failed to notify a supervisor or internal affairs after a citizen informed him a Dallas police officer had allegedly violated departmental policy. Hey, the thin blue line, shoulder to shoulder, we protect our own. That's the deal, right? Now, would these guys have been fired if Amber Geiger hadn't just been convicted? A year ago, would these guys have been fired? Well, they weren't fired a year ago, and we're going to find out some things have been going on with these guys. And now Amber Geiger gets convicted, and Dallas police says, oh, we need to do some house cleaning. Let's get rid of some of these folks to say, see, we're doing good. We're good boys. We're Dallas Police Department. We're good. No, you're cleaning house. Officer Brown was hired in August 2008 and assigned to the Northeast Division. Now that's Sean Brown. He was fired for driving a vehicle under the influence of alcohol, which also resulted in his arrest by the Rolette Police Department. So he was DUI, and that's what he got fired for. How many cops have I done editorials on that were DUI and didn't get fired? A few, right? Officer Thames was hired in May, Jerry Thames, of 2014 and assigned to the South Central Division. He was fired for several offenses that occurred between 2017 and 2018. And here it is late 2019, and he's being fired. Why? Because Amber Geiger got convicted. Thames used city equipment for a purpose other than departmental or city business in October of 2017. He was involved in a disturbance that resulted in a police response 1 month later. Between January and June of 2018, Thames operated a City of Dallas motor vehicle without a valid driver's license. In July of 2018, the Dallas Police Department determined that Thames had harassed a citizen via telephone calls, text messages, and in person. This harassment warranted a police response. Thames was arrested for assault, family violence, don't kick your dog or beat your wife. We always tell him that, right? And harassment in July of 2018. He was also arrested for repeated violations of a protective order 3 weeks later. During the same time period, Thames violated a magistrate's order for emergency protection. This is all in 2018. Here it is, October 2019, and he's being fired. He's been a cop this whole time, as far as we know, right? Under civil service rules, police officers have the right to appeal their discipline. And of course, the union will say, we need to let them back. Come on. The Police Officers Association will say, you cannot terminate these guys for this. No. And they'll get their jobs back, or they'll be cops somewhere else. That's how it works, guys, in law enforcement. I don't get it. So I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. I'm going to put a link to this story in the description box. Before I close, I did want to say something real quick, too. I'm getting some people that are saying the guy that fell off the roof, the guy that in Fresno that got shot in the back of the head. And I'm getting people that are commenting and saying, look, you know what? Criminals deserve no mercy. Why are you defending these criminals? Why are you attacking the cops? Criminals don't deserve mercy. You know, we want people to be afraid to commit crimes. Now, we need to understand something here. First of all, I don't condone crime. If you're a criminal, if you're out there stealing from people, killing people, putting guns in people's face, carjacking people, taking stuff off people's porches, taking their property, you're a scumbag and you deserve to go to jail or, whatever. But as far as justifying the police shooting these people or throwing these people off roofs or hurting these people, and saying, well, criminals get no mercy. Where do we draw the line at? Where's the line in the sand? There has to be a standard. Law enforcement officers effect an arrest. They submit the paperwork or the citation. You go to court. There's an arraignment, whatever. You go through the process with the judge. If there has to be a district attorney, there's a district attorney. There's a defense attorney, a public defender. There's a guilty, not guilty, no contest. The judge decides. All of that has to play out. That's our American criminal justice system. That's the Constitution of the United States. If we say criminals get no mercy, fuck them, just let the cops take care of them. Where do we draw the line at? Are we just going to allow cops to go out there and just start shooting people, beating people with nightsticks, pepper spraying them for no reason, kicking people when they're handcuffed and saying, well, they get no mercy, he's a criminal? Where do we draw the line? And what if the officer's wrong? Oh, well, if the officer's wrong, now it's different. No. Don't waffle on me. Don't waffle on me. There has to be a standard that the officers go by, because the officers are not correct every time. But you guys are saying, well, the criminals get no mercy. Where do we draw the line at? It's like one Yucaipa police sergeant told me. He said, well, look, we can't expect to know every penal code and every law. That's what the court system's for. So he's basically saying, hey, you know what? If we get it wrong, fuck it. Just go to court and fight it. What? Hello? That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? So just if he gets it wrong, fuck it, we can't know everything. Well, then you shouldn't be a cop. In my job, we have standards that we go by, and the integrity division goes back and looks at our cases. And if we did something wrong, it's called a case review, and we have to go back and correct it. We have to correct whatever. Hey, you guys did this wrong. The state policy says this, and okay, we have to go back and make corrections and follow the state policy. If cops get it wrong, there's nothing. It's just basically, how can we justify this? Well, if we say this, then the cop was right. Yeah, let's say that then. There you go. Instead of making the police correct their deficiencies, they justify the deficiency and say, hey, you know what? Let's just fucking say he did this. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, we're good. And that's how law enforcement works. And that's why there's a disconnect. That's why people don't like law enforcement. That's why people don't like the police, because they don't correct their deficiencies. They justify. There you go. There's the editorial for today. I covered a little sidebar things for you as well. Hopefully you guys have a great Friday. I got to go. Community Leo Watch, let you know what's going on with Leos. That's law enforcement officers across your nation. And there you go, guys. There's a lot to chew on there in the comment section below. I expect to hear from you guys. Thank you. Happy Friday.